Now, first and foremost, I want to tell you about a way of expression that native English speakers use time and time again, but are much less used by learners of English. I am, of course, talking about binomials or binomial pairs. Now, I want to say this loud and clear. If you are learning English and you want to sound fluent, even if you're not fluent, you should start using them. It is, after all, part and parcel of the English language. From Shakespeare to Lady Gaga, everyone uses binomials. And sooner or later, in order to reach an advanced level, little by little, and step by step, you have to start adding them to your conversation. As soon as you do, native English speakers will think, wow, this person speaks English good and proper. He or she is using binomials. Okay, that's a slight exaggeration, because even though they use them all the time, I don't think native speakers know the linguistic term binomial pairs. Okay, unless you're a nerdy English teacher like me. But after this video, you will, because today we are going to get to the nitty-gritty of binomials. You're going to learn 60 of them, give or take one or two. But I'll keep it short and sweet. So please take a moment away from the hustle and bustle of your daily life to study this important lesson, because it's now or never. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Let Them Talk, and today we're going to talk all about binomials. So think of them as kind of a library of short fixed expressions, usually in pairs, but sometimes with 3 or 4 words, which are often joined with and, such as loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. Or, such as take it or leave it. This is my final offer. You can take it or leave it. Though there are other forms too, and we'll look at that. The human brain is far too lazy and limited to invent original expressions for every conversation. When we communicate, we usually follow a formula which borrows heavily from pre-existing terms. So, when native speakers are communicating, they will pepper their expression with binomial pairs, which are clear, short, and understood by everyone. Did you know that binomials are just as common in English as phrasal verbs? That's right, so do use them. So let's have a look at some different types of binomials. First of all, binomial word order is generally fixed. So for example, you can say rise and shine, wake up now, it's already 9 AM, rise and shine, but you cannot say shine and rise. That doesn't mean anything. Binomials can contain nouns, for example, flesh and blood, which means a relation or a member of the family. For example, I know he's rude and cruel, but I can't abandon Tommy. He's my brother. He's my flesh and blood. Okay. They can use verbs, for example, sink or swim, which means either you fail or you succeed. For example, new businesses entering the market don't get any help from anybody, so it's sink or swim. Or adjectives, for example, sick and tired, which means to be fed up of something or someone. Every time we meet, you're at least 20 minutes late. I'm sick and tired of it. Okay, now let's have a look at the sound patterns that most binomials fall into. First of all, you have rhyming binomials, such as mumbo, jumbo. Astrology is just a load of mumbo jumbo. Culture vulture. She goes to the museum, the opera, the theatre, something like that, every day. She's such a culture vulture. Wine and dine. Our hosts were very kind. They wined and dined us throughout our stay. You have alliterations where the first letter or sound in the phrase is the same as the second one. For example, you live and learn. From rags to riches. This is a story of rags to riches. From a poor child in the ghetto to a multi-million-dollar business empire. I guess you could reverse this one, a tale of riches to rags, when you start off rich and end up poor, but almost all the time you can't reverse them. Tried and tested. Wearing a helmet is a tried and tested way of making a bike journey safer, so you should do it too. Next we have repeating the same word, okay? Time after time. You make the same mistake time after time. Let bygones be bygones. The argument we had happened over 10 years ago. Let bygones be bygones and let's be friends again. All in all, this is the best smartphone on the market. Now, as well as binomials, which have two main words, you do have trinomials. For example, beg, steal and borrow. I will do anything to make you happy. I will beg, steal and borrow. Tom, Dick or Harry. Look, ask any Tom, Dick or Harry and they will tell you broccoli is good for you. Why do you think you know better? Way, shape or form? No, absolutely not. You cannot be part of this organisation in any way, shape or form. What is interesting is that some words that are obsolete in general English are still used and understood when they are used as a binomial pair. So for example, spick and span, which means very clean or tidy. When I get back, I want this house looking spick and span. However, the words spick and span separately are not used in modern English. They are archaic. By hook or by crook. By hook or by crook, I'll find out the name of the person who betrayed me. Okay, so we are more or less halfway through. So let's go through a few more binomials so we can reach the magic figure of 60 that I promised to teach you. Okay, let's go. By and large, pigs are more intelligent than dogs. It's true, by the way. So love the dogs, but love the pigs too. Tall, dark, and handsome. Detective Smart was tall, dark, and handsome, and about 30 years old. Safe and sound. Ah, there you are. It's late. I was worried about you. I'm glad you are safe and sound. Ups and downs. Life has its ups and downs. There are joyful times, but difficult moments too. Pure and simple. You are the best. Pure and simple. Pride and joy. Our new grandson is our pride and joy. Now and then. Now and then I wonder what life would have been like if I had stayed in Scotland. Back and forth. Grandmother sat in her rocking chair, swaying back and forth all evening. Like that, yeah? Wear and tear. The uniform needs to be replaced every couple of years because of wear and tear. Down and out. After his wife ran off with the butcher and he lost his job at the post office, he ended up down and out asking passers-by for spare change in the city centre. Tooth and nail. I will fight this case tooth and nail in the court until I am proved innocent. High and dry. When the principal actress got sick at the last minute without a replacement, the theatre was left high and dry. Law and order. After the revolution, there was a complete breakdown in law and order. Odds and ends. I'll be back soon. I've just got a few odds and ends to finish up at the office. Okay, odds and ends can also refer to an assortment of small things. For example, in this box, I keep the odds and ends I need for sewing. Right. Song and dance. Okay, the spoon was dirty, sorry, but it's not that serious. Don't make a song and dance about it. An arm and a leg. My new car is my pride and joy, but it cost me an arm and a leg. Tit for tat. Jane didn't come to Sarah's birthday party, and now Sarah has not invited Jane to her wedding. It's clearly a case of tit for tat. Black and white. Now, this also has two meanings. Okay, so free trade is not a black and white issue. There are advantages and disadvantages. You have no excuses. The rules were written in black and white before you started. Done and dusted. Now the deal is done and dusted. We can go out and celebrate. Far and wide. We have looked far and wide for a replacement, but so far without success. Pros and cons. There are pros and cons of living in a big city. Ifs and buts. Now, I don't want to hear any ifs and buts. Just do what I told you to do. Born and bred. I'm a Londoner, born and bred. Rough and ready. The accommodation in the village was rough and ready, but it was good enough for our needs. Through thick and thin. My wife has stood by me for over 30 years through thick and thin. So now it's your turn. Write a sentence using a binomial in the comments. Now I want no ifs and buts from you. Just do it. Don't make a song and dance about it. I've been with you through thick and thin, dear viewer, but now it's time to rise and shine. I don't want any mumbo jumbo though.